money, education, free time to do whatever you want, time with your kids, women, cars, jewelry, clothes. Ask yourself this: how much is enough? Enough, you ask? Enough for what? Enough to be happy. How much does it really take for you to have to be happy? How much money do you need? You ever thought about that? I feel as though here in the United States, in this era, 2022, if you're watching this in the future, it's come to a point where people don't really understand that there is a limit when things are enough to make you happy. And most people will just keep getting more and want more. And here we have the story of the billionaire slave, the $1 billion slave. So there's a guy, his name is Brady, right? This is once was this guy, his name was Brady. Brady's mother was poor. Brady's father was poor. Brady's grandfather was poor. Brady's grandmother was poor. One day, Brady was about 16 years old, eating his 10th cup of noodles for dinner that he had for 10 days straight because his family was poor. Brady said, I want to be a billionaire. I never want to be poor again. So Brady left school. Brady got a job. Brady started bringing in money. Brady realized, hey, if I want to be a billionaire, I got to go to school. Brady gets his GED. Brady goes to community college and graduates at the top of his class. He's studying hard. All his friends are playing and going out. He's not talking to any women. He's not buying any clothes, any jewelry, because Brady wants to be a billionaire. Brady says, I finished my associate's degree. Now it's time to go get a bachelor's degree. Brady goes to school. He doesn't go out to any parties. Brady doesn't go out to any clubs. He doesn't do nothing but sit in his room and do homework. I'm going to get to that billionaire status. I'm going to get to that billionaire status. Brady graduates summa cum laude out of Princeton University, top echelon of Ivy League schools. So Brady says, okay, I have my bachelor's now. Let me go get my master's. Brady goes, does the same thing. Now he's 23. All of his friends are meeting women. They're getting married. They're starting their regular careers, but he's grinding to get to this doctor level because as a doctor, he knows he can become a multimillionaire and then invest and become a billionaire. So Brady goes and gets his bachelor's degree. Brady goes and gets his master's degree. Brady goes and gets his PhD. At this time, Brady is 30 years old. He's done his residence in a hospital. Brady is now making $2-3 million a year. He's working overtime, and his overtime's giving him a whole another $1 million a year. So now Brady's 34 years old, and Brady says, okay, I need to get a wife now that's gonna help me build with this billions, right? Brady go gets a top model wife from Brazil, has kids, but Brady is working overtime because he still wants to be that billionaire. Brady doesn't spend time with his kids. Brady doesn't spend time with his wife. Brady doesn't go out with his friends. He all he does is work overtime, go home. He bought a house. He's still working. So now Brady is a multi-millionaire. He has investments in real estate. He has investments in stock. He has investments in crypto. He has investments all over the place, right? Brady has finally reached $1 billion. Brady made it. Brady goes back and he looks to his wife. His wife wants a divorce. He looks to his kids. His kids don't know him. They don't want to be around him anymore. He looks and finds out how old is he? Brady's now 70 years old. He's a billionaire though, but he's 70 years old. He slaved his whole life to become a billionaire, multimillionaire, doctor, billionaire, investor. But now he's 70 years old, and the average man lives to 74. So he has 4 years to enjoy his billionaire status. He slaved all his life with his job. It's your boy FRE, $H Fresh at the Flyboy Way, THEFLYBOYWAY. Don't ask why, just check out the channel. I feel as though because people don't know when is enough, they focus so much on their goals that they forget the journey is more important than the destination, than the destination you're going. And I feel as though what's happening right now in the United States is a lot of people. I'm going to specifically speak to black people because of the situation with the Kyrie Irving thing, where there are a lot of celebrities, and a lot of sports stars who grew up with this guy, who was friends with this guy, who very much helped this guy out. And because he said something and is getting unfairly treated, they won't speak on it because he is off limits. They'll get black. They're worried about losing their millions. They're worried about not having enough. And I feel as though it becomes a problem when you value money to the extent of once you've obtained enough to live a great life or to make you happy, if you can't find that level of balance between having enough money and being true to who you are, then I feel as though you're more. It's like a drug. You're addicted to it. Let me shout out everybody. I'm back. Man, let me shout out everybody out of the room. I just wanted to get that off the top, pause, and just tell you guys that story about knowing when it's enough. Because if you focus your whole life on getting women, right, and you just keep getting women and women and women and women, you never really get to enjoy like the presence of being with one for a long time or being with a couple for a long time, and it gets boring after a while. If you do the same thing with money, any kind of thing you do too much can be addiction. And I feel as though we got to really find out what's enough. Global Paper in the building. Brazil die. Models and bottles for life. Versus King. I can't say you the threesome king yet, man. We gotta have the twins, man. Beach Bum TV, what it do? The Great, what's good, bruh? When am I flying back to Colombia? We gotta link up. I got some crazy Medellin stories from when I went out there. As people know, this is going to be my last year really traveling like I'm gonna be. It's gonna be the last year I'm on YouTube. As far as like doing anything else, I'm gonna have the Black Man's Guide once a year. I'll do the Black Man's Guide once a year. But as far as traveling to different places, I'm not certain if I'm next year. Next year 2023. I'm definitely not going to be on YouTube that much, except for doing the lives. So when it comes to traveling, I don't know if I'm going to be doing the vlogs anymore, unless it's a Black Man's Guide. But I guess I could mention when I go to Medellin. But I have no plans of going to Colombia for a while because I want to get these debts under control, and I want to try to get my documentary series on Netflix or Hulu or something like that. That's my next year plan. How much do you need monthly in Medellin to live like a king, to have fun? I was just doing the research for that. I'm actually going to have a show like I did about Playa del Carmen when I was like, you can retire off of 300K in Playa del Carmen. I've been doing a lot of research. I'll link you guys some videos when I do the show. There's a woman that said her apartment was $400. Then I believe Passport Dog said you can find an apartment between $400 and $700. But basically, to live there, to live comfortably, you're gonna need about, depending on what part of Medellin, if you don't want to be in, you'll need about 1,000 to 20 to 2,000, 1,000 to $2,000 for everything. Depending on what part you want to be in. Uh, I'm trying to see a million. That's a good goal, but I would say once you get to a million, realize that if that's enough for you, it's got to be enough. Because I think when people say they want to get to a million, and as you guys know, I told people a long time ago, I hit millionaire status based on the equity I have in my houses, based on my stocks, based on my 401k, based on cars I have. I hit a millionaire status like a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago. So I can speak to that. When Once you get to that status, you realize what's more important than being a millionaire, because it's a millionaire means you just have $1 million worth of assets, or $1 million worth after your assets minus your liabilities. After that reaches a million, you're a millionaire. You're worth a million, or you have a million liquid in cash. But the issue is that a lot of people don't understand is being a millionaire isn't as rewarding as having financial freedom. And there are some millionaires who don't have financial freedom, maybe because of all their money is liquid. But I would say focus more, or I'm not a financial advisor, I'm saying that. I would say rather than trying to see a million, focus more on having enough money from your investments to live the lifestyle that you want, because you may be surprised to find out that that's not really $1 million. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's say you have no children, you love to travel, you don't want to have to work, and you get two houses. You have one house that's making you $1,000 a month. You have another house that's making you $800 a month. That's $1,800 a month, and you can live in one house but without paying rent. That's $1,800 a month. You got a car. You pay your insurance. That's $200 a month. Let's say you want to live in another country when you're not here. You could take 1,000 of that, live in another country, or take 1,500 of that, live in another country, and you still have $300 a month to save after you've lived. So I would say focus more rather than people focusing on being a millionaire, because focus on what you need to be happy, financially, reoccurring money, passive income. C Spills, what's going on, man? How long does it take to learn Spanish if you live in Medellin? It really depends on what rate you go. I know some people who've been living in Medellin for years and they don't know Spanish, because you have to have the requirement of you have to have the desire to actually communicate and learn the language. So I would say it really depends. It could be 5 months. You could be comfortable with it if you practice every day. You got to classes and stuff, or it could be 5 years. It really depends how you want to go, man. But basically, I don't think, like I said, that millionaire question is definitely a thing. I would say I don't think people really understand what is enough. Like when I used to think about it, I said, all right, when I was a kid, my whole thing was I didn't want to be homeless. That was my thing. I didn't want to be homeless. I didn't know what I wanted to do when I was a kid. I was like, I don't know, whatever I don't want, whatever I do as a kid, I just don't want to be homeless. That was my thing. Then it was like I want to be rich, but then I broke it down and said, why do I want to be rich? Why do I want to be a millionaire? And I said, okay, well, I want to be a millionaire because a millionaire can get whatever they want. Okay, so what do I need to do to get whatever I want? What's enough to get whatever I want? Well, what can I want? Well, I might want to go on a trip overseas every month. I might want to have a nice car. Well, how much does that cost? Let's break it down, because a lot of people, they see here and they don't break it down to steps to see what they need. So I want to be rich. What is rich? Do whatever I want. Okay, so what do I need? Okay, well, I need a place to stay. All right, so how much does a place to stay cost? $1,500. Is there any way around that? Yes. What if I own a place and I live in the basement? I live on the third floor, and I have my tenants pay the other part. Okay, well, that's a way that I can live there. Okay, now that I have a place to live, what do I need? I need money to move around. I need enough money to move around. I need money to eat. I need money because I don't cook. I need money to eat. I need money to go out and have fun. Well, how much money do you need? How often do you go out? Let's say on normal, I go out 2 days a week, maybe 3 days a week, right? How much is enough each day to go out and have fun? Okay, well, let's say I need $100 a day. Okay, so you need $300 a day. I mean, you need $300 a week plus the regular money. Well, regular money. So okay, so I need 300. I need enough for me is $300. Okay, got that. So now I know if I have a place, if I have $300, and I have I guess 500 or 200 a month to eat. I mean 200 a week to eat. Not 200, maybe 100 to eat, 100 a week to eat. I know that I'll have enough to have fun, not have to worry about a place to live. Well, that's pretty. Now I'm working towards what I really want. I want to be free. I want the availability to do stuff. So I think people just got to break it down, man. They just got to break it down. You guys got any questions or anything? Let me know. I just really wanted to get this off my mind because I feel as though we get into a point now where I don't think that the majority of people understand what is enough for them. Enough women. For example, everybody asks us, okay, when you're going overseas, what do you like? What do you do to get women? I said, okay, well, check this out. When I'm in New Jersey, I have one main woman I hang out with because one woman I hang out with in New Jersey is enough. It's enough for me. In New Jersey, it's enough for me. When I go to Miami, I leave it open to see whatever is possible because that's enough. But one is enough. If I go to Medellin, one is enough. If I go to Brazil, one is enough. I feel as though, like for example, when I went over to Costa Rica and I had like a different one every night, I didn't really need that. But that was me. I feel as though that was me trying to do what a lot of people now is doing with the money, just trying to get as much as I can rather than saying what's enough, what's all I need, what's enough that I need. You know what I mean? 1 million cash and you can live off the interest. Okay. So 1 million cash, you can live off the interest. Minimum lowest 4% interest, highest 7% interest, 70,000 and 40,000 a year. Okay, that's fair. 1 million you can live off the interest. But do you really need a million to live off the interest? If you have recurring income, if you have reoccurring income, if you have cash flow, could you get away with not having a million? Just think about it. What's enough? A million is up here, right? So with a million, yes, you can live off of that. But is there a lower amount that you can live off? What's enough for you to live off of? Because people can focus on this so much that they'll do anything to get there. And when you do anything to get to that point, it doesn't always pay off in the end. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't always pay off in the end. Terrence Hill, what's up, man? How do you feel about Cuban real estate? I know a lot of people are saying those Cuban houses are going for dirt cheap. Okay, so I just spoke to my friend in Cuba. She said right now Cuba is going through some situations. And although there are tourists there, I don't know if, well, as a United States citizen, you can't own property in Cuba. You can't own property. As a matter of fact, no one can own property in Cuba but Cuban citizens. You have to be a Cuban citizen to own property in Cuba, unless you have a child. If I have a child with a woman in Cuba, I can put the property in my child's name. However, and it's not dirt cheap in the good parts. It's dirt cheap if you go outside of Havana. If you want to be in Guaynabo, you want to be in anywhere those side things, then yes, it could be dirt cheap. You could probably get a place for like a decent place, not like a big shack, not a big house, just a nice 1 or 2 bedroom small house for maybe like $20,000-$30,000 outside of Havana. But when you get to Havana, the prices are still high. For the places in Havana, the prices are still high. And once again, if you're not a Cuban citizen, you can't buy it. So personally, I think I would more along the lines of rent a place for, if I had a kid in Cuba, I would rent a place in Cuba for my daughter's mother or my son's mother to stay. and I would do it that way versus trying to buy a place in Cuba because, yeah, no, because the government situation is not one is never enough. Princess, see that's how it starts. I tell people all the time, like I feel as though you can pretty much never truly be happy in life, in my opinion, if you just don't if you never understand what's enough. Because if you keep wanting more, look at all these wealthy people that be stressed out, dying, and all this stuff, and they be like the wealthiest person in the world. You be like, well, I don't understand. How can you be wanting to commit delete your self deletion if you are like a multi-millionaire? And it's because they keep going, they don't know when it's enough. Like I can't imagine working past 50. I can't. I cannot imagine working past 50. Me personally, I believe I'm gonna. I think. Well, I'm 38 now. My son is 6. My son in 8 years will be in high school. In 8 years, I'll be 46. I can't see myself working past 50 at all. But I may not be able to work past 45 because I I feel as though I have enough money to retire now. At this point now, I have enough money and lifestyle to retire. But I don't want to retire before my son gets to high school because I have to make sure he's able to move around and stuff. If I'm not here, it would take me 3 hours to get back from Colombia, or it take me 3 hours to get back from Miami, or it take me 6 hours to get back from Brazil. I need to make sure that my son can be old enough to say, "Hey, I'm going to go to the house and wait for you to come back if something happens." So I know enough. I know enough, but I just want people to really start thinking. Like tomorrow morning, tonight, when you leave the live, just ask yourself, what is enough for me to be happy? Because once you hit that enough, everything else is bonus. You're not stressing over nothing. You start. The one of the best feelings in the world was when I became financially free because I felt once I hit financial freedom, it was enough. And I believe I hit financial freedom before I was a millionaire. So that's why I said that's when somebody says $1 million. Yes, it can give you the investment income, but I hit financial freedom far before I was a millionaire, and I was completely happy with it. Completely. Shout out to Kojo. Salute from NYC. Salute, man. $1 million is not really a lot of money. A lot is relative. I mean, a lot is relative. Like I always say, $1 million may not be a lot in relative to 2 million. 2 million is not a lot in relative to 10 million. 10 million is not a lot relative to 100 million. But how much do you personally really need to be happy? To be happy. And for me, it was when I hit my financial freedom. And it was definitely wasn't, I wasn't a millionaire then. So I just want people, because what's coming up in this economy in the United States, if you can't see what's around the world, is I feel as though, and they're starting to lay off people in Amazon, they start to lay off people in uh, Apple, they're starting to lay off people in all these different places around. I feel as though we've gotten to a point where the people at the top understand that the biggest way to control someone is not the government. The biggest way to control someone in the United States is to economically put them at the bottom of the totem pole. Because if you don't have economics in the United States, you can easily be controlled by somebody else. And we as a people mentally are still controlled by the money. So it's like, even when you have the money, like look at these, like again, look at these basketball players who speak negatively towards their own community because they don't have the sense of I have enough. Look at these rappers who speak negatively towards their community because they don't have the sense of I have enough. Because once you have the sense of I have enough, then no one can make you do just anything to keep asking to getting more money. So you know what I mean? Rod Trips, what's going on, man? HC, Howard Cooper, what it do? Okay, I'm referring to only having one woman, but I feel you. For me, one woman is not enough for me. See, I don't want to make it seem like I don't want to make it seem like ice. Let me break it down to you. One woman is not enough for me. Why isn't one woman enough for me? Because I personally like having new stuff after a while. One consistent woman is great to have, but I need new stuff after a while. That's just how I am. Now it doesn't have to have a large amount of new stuff. I can have one regular woman, and I mean not one reoccurring woman, and I can have four women a month, four new women a month, and I'm good. Three new women a month, and I'm good. Two women, two is enough. Two is enough. See, that's where we go. So one regular woman and two new women a month is enough for me. It's enough for me. I'll be happy. I mean, this is good. So, like I said, it really depends how you think, how you move. Um, get homes and property in Ghana, future of real estate. See, me personally, Kojo, I like the fact that people are expanding themselves to go places like people that are going back to Africa and going to to different countries, to Ghana and South Africa and Johannesburg to buy property. But for me personally, the distance, because my children are here in the States, even though my daughter's mother is from Ghana and my daughter is half Ghanaian, um, I don't feel comfortable being that far away because I want to be able to come back if there's an emergency. But yeah, if it fits for you, man, I definitely say get properties in Ghana. Would I take 1 million cash or 4K monthly for the rest of my life? Um, Honestly, I'll probably take the 1 million cash because you never know when you're gonna go. I'll probably take the 1 million cash because I can invest it. I have ways I know how to invest $1 million. But the 4 million, the 4K, you never know. If let's say you take 4K, right, and then you die next year, you're not gonna have $1 million by next year, and then you have nothing to pass to your kids. So I would take the 1 million. Um, Kojo says laying people off of Twitter, Amazon, Facebook, Meta, Tesla, etc. And this is just the first wave. This is why I want people to really start to get understanding of what is enough. The best thing that happened to us, and it's going to sound bad, knock on wood. How do I say this? Respect to all the people who passed away. But the best thing to happen to us as people of a minority or people who are not wealthy, the best thing that happened to us in the history of the United States is that pandemic. Let me tell you why the pandemic was the best thing that happened to us in the history of the United States for people who are not rich. Because the pandemic showed us what we can bear with the minimum. Because a lot of us couldn't go out and buy stuff. A lot of us didn't have the money because we either didn't have a job or we didn't know what was coming next. And the pandemic allowed us to see a different world from not going out and buying the most expensive cars or the most expensive clothes or going to all the parties or taking all the trips. The pandemic showed us that we could actually make it without doing all that. So that's why I say the pandemic is the best thing that happened, because now when the corporations lay people off, when the economy goes through a recession and a depression, we as a people, not all of us, but the ones who actually understand financial independence and financial freedom, we can actually say, you know what? I don't need to go to the movie theaters no more. I don't need to buy Nikes all the time. I don't need to go to subscribe to Disney or subscribe to Hulu, or I don't need to there's a lot of stuff we don't need, and we was able to see that through the pandemic. So I think that it's going to be good, and I think that I can't say I hope that once we change that way, we change for the better. We start investing in stuff that is going to put us in a place where we have enough. Because a lot of people, like I said, they don't know what enough is, and they just, oh, I want to get this, I want to get this, I need Netflix, I need Disney, I need Hulu, I need all this, I need the new Nikes, I need it becomes a drug. It becomes a drug. Anything that you do too much is a drug. And the pandemic, again, was the best thing that could happen to us, because it showed us all. It gave us, or at least it gave all of us a chance to see that we could be drug free. When I say drug free, I mean we don't have to go buy the flyest clothes. We don't have to. We can, and as travelers, we know we can go to Colombia. We can go to Costa Rica. We can go here and get more for our buck. And I feel as though that is highly important. Brandon S, what's going on? Salute, man. Keep in mind, a lot of layoffs are due to overhiring as well, though. Yes, but here's the thing. Although a lot of layoffs are due to overhiring and they're bringing stuff down, it's going to be a point where people are not going out and buying stuff, right? Either because they don't have the money or because the pandemic showed them that they no longer need to have all this material stuff. And because of that, the America is based on consumerism. For those that don't know what consumerism is, let me try to explain a little bit. Consumerism means the people are basically is the people at the bottom keep spending and spending and spending. America is based on spending. It's spending debt. Like they're not spending the cash they have from the job. They're spending debt, spending credit cards, spending HELOC, spending all this stuff. America is the number one economy because everyone in America spends reckless. The majority of Americans spend recklessly. So because of the majority of people, Americans changed the way, because the pandemic changed the way people think, it changed the mind control that United States had that made everybody spend recklessly, right? And people were not going to do that. So as they do layoffs, as people stop spending more, what's going to happen is going to be a huge divide between a bigger divide between the rich and the poor. It's going to be a bigger divide between the rich and the poor that we've ever seen in United States history. But it's going to be a point where the poor don't care because they're not going out and buying Nikes. They're not going out and buying the new Gucci or the newest iPhone or the newest phone that's available. And that's when I feel as though it's going to be something different. Wow, I gotta speed up a little bit. Exactly. I have a variety of women, especially overseas. I mean, it's like, but I'm saying it's not like you got to go get them all the time, but you have a number that's enough. Well, I feel as though everyone has a number that's enough. My number is two new women a month, one regular reoccurring one, and that's enough for me. I don't really need any more. If it comes more, I'm not going to work hard to try to go find more women after the second one because I don't feel as though I need to. What do you think about having a family in the States and starting overseas? Is that foul? Okay, so here's the thing. I plan on having a family overseas, at least one, if not two. But what the foul part comes in, if you're not financially able to provide for that family overseas, that's the foul part. The reason why I say that's the foul part is because here's the thing. You can look at it as if you feel as though you got to be in a relationship, you got to be in love, that's going to be in your head and that might mess you up. But I feel as though the economical power that we have in the United States, if we are going to another country and we're going to bring that economical power to a woman in another country who does not have that economical power, we may be bringing their family to a different class and where they're at. You know what I'm saying? It sounds crazy. It might sound crazy to you guys, but check this out. Let's say I'm making I'm not, but let's say I'm making $60,000 a year, right? If I'm making $60,000 a year over here, I have one child here, and I say, okay, now I want to go overseas and have another child. The child here may cost me, somewhere like $20,000 a year, right? But the child over there might only cost me $5,000 a year. So I'm able to afford both for the children, right? I'm comfortably able to afford both for the children. Now that $5,000 a year that I'm spending on a child and her mother and putting her mother in a good place, because these are things that you want to think about before you have a child overseas. Where is your child going to stay? If it's going to be your child, do you want your child to stay in the low economical place that the mother might currently be, or do you want your child to stay in a better economical place in that country that doesn't cost you as much as a hood spot over here in the States do? That's Michael one. So check this out. So you got to pay $400 for rent, right? Because 400 pretty much in Colombia, 400 is going to put her in, depending on Barranquilla, 400 to put her in the top strata, sixth strata. In Medellin, you'll probably need like 700 to put it in the sixth strata. That means your kid is going to go to the best schools. Your kid is going to be around other kids who have money. Your kid is not going to be and whenever you go over there, you'll be able to go inside and see your kid and stuff. Like I said, you got to really vet the woman first, but that's that. Secondly, here's the thing that a lot of people don't understand. Like, I don't know if you guys see Nick Cannon. Nick Cannon having all these kids in the States. It's cool to have a lot of kids if you can afford it, which of course Nick Cannon can. But the mindset that we're having all the children in the same exact bubble is putting all your bubble and all of your money in the same pot. If something goes wrong with America, with maybe the currency flips or something like that, now you got all your kids in here. It doesn't do nothing. But imagine you starting a family out in Brazil. You start a family out in Brazil, and you have one kid, and maybe you have a second kid, and those kids, the child's mother, and you get cool with the family, they're gonna be appreciative if you, as long as you go there like 4 times a year, as long as you go there 4 times a year and stay for maybe a month or maybe 2 weeks at a time, they're gonna be comfortable with it as long as you still keeping up with the bills, and they're gonna respect you. Forget if she's gonna be with other guys. You can't promise yourself that. You can't. Nothing you can do is gonna assure you that she's not gonna be with other guys. But when you with her family, you can be assured that the stuff that you do for your kid is going to be taken care of as long as you're getting good with the family. So again, to answer your questions, I personally plan on having a child overseas. I don't think it's foul because I'm going to be there to financially provide, and I'm going to be there to emotionally provide at least 4 times a year whenever I have a child overseas. Appreciate it, Kojo. Do I consider buying in DR, Puerto Rico, or Cartagena? Okay, so Puerto Rico is still the States. Puerto Rico is still a United States territory, so I wouldn't do that. DR. Hold on a second, y'all. Hold on a second, y'all. All right, hold up. This thing out here. Hold up. Boy, what the heck? I got it. All right, I had to fix that real quick. All right, so Puerto Rico. All right, so DR. Puerto Rico is a territory, so I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't have a kid in Puerto Rico. Sorry, I wouldn't buy property in Puerto Rico, especially after the last hurricane. Every time there's a hurricane, Puerto Rico takes the brunt of it, and then Dominican Republic gets what's left over. I wouldn't buy in Dominican Republic because Dominican Republic is an island. And for those that don't know, I've been on a couple islands before, whether it's Dominican Republic, whether it's I don't want to say Miami Beach, whether it's Hawaii, and I realized this: on the island, when things go bad, when things are good, things are good. When things are bad, the people on the island tend to connect together. And if you're not from the island, then you're the one that's on the outside, and you have no other choice to go anywhere else. So for me to invest on an island outside of Miami Beach, where I own property at, I wouldn't do it. So DR, I wouldn't do it. Cartagena, I would have to look more into it. That wouldn't be my first choice in Colombia, but it could be possible. It could be possible. Or not Puerto Rico. Okay. Salute, Jay, great. Salute. You guys got any questions? We over 30 minutes. We'll do this for an hour. Any questions y'all want, I'll answer you. I'll answer them, or we'll have comment on it. So just ask, y'all. But like I said, I'll end it. Whenever I end it, I'll talk about enough again. But man, let's see, y'all. We are still going through a recession. See, here's the thing, y'all. The United States understands propaganda. The media understands propaganda. They understand how to create a narrative, and if they all have the same narrative, then they can feed it to the people who watch the media, because a lot of people watch it and they believe it because they don't know. If you've never traveled outside of the country, you cannot know the complete difference from inside the United States and outside looking in. It's a complete difference. So yes, I feel as though we're still going through a recession, but two down quarters in a row is normally a recession, but they won't ever have to announce it because of manipulation. So just joining. The topic basically, Tev, was having enough. I feel as though, and I'll bring it up again, I feel as though a lot of issues is that people don't understand what they really want or what really is enough, rather. When I say enough, I mean, somebody said earlier, I want to be a millionaire. Why do you want to be a millionaire? He says, I want to be a millionaire because I can use I can invest the whole million and live off of the investment, the 40,000 or the 70,000, depending on 47% off the million. And I said, okay, well, how much do you really need to live the way you want to live? How much you need an apartment, you need food, how much do you eat? And we broke it down because everyone that aims up here, sometimes they don't get up here, or they do stuff to get up there that doesn't fit well with their soul. And kind of like with the whole situations where the people in the NBA are speaking against their own people because of the people who are paying them. They're slaves. They're wealthy slaves. And I'm just trying to show people that once you know what's enough, you become a free person. You become a free man. You become a free woman. You become a free anything in between. Once you know it's enough for you. If you keep trying to get to that milli and you do whatever it takes to whatever to get to that milli, but then you can't live with whatever it took to get to that milli, and you could have been happy at 100,000 in some properties. What's enough? Just want a yacht and live on the water. That definitely don't cost $1 million, man. I'll tell you right now, that definitely don't cost $1 million. Let me show you. Hold up. Let me show you y'all real quick. My example. Let me share the screen. Hold up. Window. Let's see. Definition. Yacht. For sale. Prices. Let me see. Shopping. Let's shop for some yachts, y'all. You need it's like a small boat. Let's say, look, a luxury lot. Is this a luxury yacht? Nah, that can't be. That's some BS. So you said $1 million, right? Nah, let me see. We need something big. Pause. Let me see. Yachts. This is a yacht for sale, right? I'm trying to see how much a yacht costs. Yacht for sale. Here we go. Allow. Why not? Luxury yachts for sale. Okay, these expensive. 1 million. Let's see if we can find something for less than $1 million. Max price. Let's say 500,000. Let's say 100,000. We find a yacht for 100,000? Nope. Okay. Oh, it's luxury, so probably not, right? 400,000. Can we find a yacht for? No. Wow. Can we find a yacht for $1 million? Up $1 million. All right, here we go. 999,000. All right, so this is like a yacht right here. I mean, I guess you can get a luxury yacht for that much. So let's say you probably for a luxury yacht you want to be comfortable. Then yeah, maybe you probably do need $1 million for a yacht. Let me see. But I'm pretty sure there's a way that you can do it less. I don't really know that much about yachts. Definitely appreciate it, y'all. I just wanted to have this conversation. So, the likes is cool. But again, like I said, this is going to be, I'm just putting out these videos because next year I'm not going to be doing that many videos. It's going to probably be one a week. Outside of the Black Man's Guide, which I still have to figure out if I'm going to Thailand or if I'm going to South Africa. I really want to. I'm leaning more towards South Africa because I want to do Thailand for Songkran, and I won't be able to do Songkran this year because it's too soon. It's in April, so I'm leaning more towards going to South Africa next year and then saving Songkran for 2024. Saving up Thailand for 2024. Twitter and Facebook, yeah, but that's just the start, man. When like a lot right now, a lot of car dealerships the car prices are dropping like significantly. So once those prices drop and people stop buying cars because they can't afford them, because it's hard for anybody to get credit unless you have like A1 credit. It's going to be hard for you to get access to cash. So if you can't get access to cash, it's going to be hard for people to buy cars, and then the cars dealership starts taking people down. Let's say Christmas doesn't do as good. Walmart starts firing. Like, listen, man, I feel as though 2024 is going to be a big hit. It's going to be a big hit. Whatever you, this is why I tell people now, whatever you're doing right now, get whatever you got to get so that next year in 2023, you don't have to buy nothing. You're just paying back debt. That's what I'm doing, at least. I'm not a financial advisor, but that's what I'm doing. I'm getting everything situated. Like I got my car coming back. I got it painted and stuff. I got the Jeep already. You know, I do want to get one more car for Miami, or so I can send the Jeep to Miami. But next year and even maybe 2024, bro, I feel like it's going to be a long stretch of depression or a long stretch of recession in the United States. That's just my feeling from somebody who lived through 2008, the 2008 housing crash. For somebody who lived through, from a millennial person who lived through the Y2K 2000 situation, I really feel as though 2023 and 2024 is going to be hard hitting. Less hours at work if you have a job. If you're not getting fired, it's going to be less hours. If you are, and this is not just for like the basic level people. I'm talking about they're firing executives and stuff. I mean, if you don't have a place that's significantly good with the amount of rent you pay, you want to probably either roommate with somebody or you want to bulk down and get something small. If you got a 1-bedroom, get a studio. If you got a 2-bedroom, see if you can fit in the 1-bedroom. If you living by yourself, see if you can get a roommate, because 2023, in my mind, after seeing what it was in 2020 and what happened in 2028 or 2008, 2023 and 2024 are gonna be tough. So I don't want to risk, exactly, economy bad. I don't want to risk none of that stuff. So I'm getting everything now, and then we're gonna go. Economy does best with Republicans in office, but I feel as though now I don't feel as though economy does best with Republicans. I feel as though, okay, maybe economy, I don't know. My personal opinion, and I'm not a Republican or a Democrat or a liberal or anything in between. I'm a black man in the United States. My personal belief is that the economy for us, what works best for us as people of a minority, is when it's a split government, when there's not too much power in one place. So if you have a Senate and a House that's Republican, I need a Democratic president. If we have a Senate and a Democratic president, I need a Republican House. If we have whatever it is, it has to even out. I mean, it has to be like even, because here's the thing: the less stuff changes, the more that we can get used to the status quo and grow from the status quo. The issue is that a lot of us in the minority, with when it's you know, when it's democracy, when there's the Democrats in charge, I feel, is my perspective, I feel as though, and I'm not a politician, I feel as though when the Democrats are in charge, everyone gets equal. And that sounds good, right? But the issue with that is that when everyone is equal and moving up at the same token, the people who is at the bottom, we never get a chance to get to the top, because everybody is equal. When everybody is equal, you never get a chance to the top. And then when the Republicans in office, everyone is for themselves. And the issue is that the distance is so far from us. Now, we might move up a lot, but the people at the top, they flying up at the top too. So neither one is good. But when it's split, when it's Democrat president or in Republican House or Congress or Republican president, it works better for us people who are trying to build ourselves. It smallens the wealth gap in the United States. My perspective. Rolling goddamn tape in the building. What's going on, Rolling Tape? Did you get back from Thailand yet? Did you get back from Thailand yet? If y'all haven't checked out, Rolling Tape got some dope interviews. I gotta go watch the one he had with Barber World TV and I think Brand Jour. I gotta go watch that one after this. But y'all just definitely subscribe to Rolling Tape channel, man. Flyboy, what's your ultimate retirement destination? I myself am thinking somewhere in Europe. All right, so remember, this topic is about enough. Today's topic in Money Talk Mondays is about enough. What is enough for me? When I retire, I would like to have, my 2 places in New Jersey that are income producing properties that I have. I have a place in West Orange. I have a place in North. I would also like to have my place in Miami. And my place in Miami is on the beach, Miami Beach. But I would also like a place in either Playa del Carmen, Mexico, or Colombia. Why? Because one, you get more bang for your buck. Two, you can Airbnb both places, and three, most likely Mexico, Playa del Carmen, because when the pandemic happened, and I do feel as though there's a chance that we might have a pandemic again, and if it's worse than the one that we had, everyone goes into lockdown. Mexico didn't go into lockdown, so I feel as though if Florida is not the way it was before, or it doesn't, because it took a while for Florida to open back up. But if Florida does go into that before, I can go to Playa del Carmen and just stay there while things are getting together when I'm not with my son or my daughter. But here's the thing: enough for me would also be me having a place in New Jersey, me having a place, the two places in New Jersey, and the place in Miami, and then I could just rent in Playa del Carmen or rent in Mexico, in Colombia, or rent in Brazil for months at a time, because that's enough. Remember what I said I would like, based on you said what's my ultimate retirement versus what's enough for me. So my ultimate retirement, to own a place in Mexico or Colombia. What's enough for me to be able to own what I own now and just be able to rent in those places. Some people just love to have a lot of kids. Nothing wrong with that. There is, to me, there's nothing wrong with it. Remember, there's no right and no wrong. But for me, there's something not good to having a bunch of kids if you can't afford them. If you can't afford them, as me, I grew up in a single family home. I had my grandparents, I had my aunts, my mother in and out the mental institution, but she was there when she was there. She was the one that helped me down. I lived with her for some time. But I didn't have a father. So for me, it would be different if I knew my father was to come around a little bit. It's different, but I don't feel as though you need a father in the house, but you do need a father, or a male father figure that's going to be coming around frequently, and put you in, put your arm on you for a second, like, hey, yo, no, I'm right here. Like my son, he doesn't live with me. Like he lived with me when he was in pre-K. He lived with me. He lives with his mother now. But my son knows that if he acts up, so I'm only a little bit away, bro. I can get right there. And that feeling keeps the kid, I feel it, in what's name. My daughter, she's 14. My daughter's 15. She lives down the street from me. Or she lives in my other town. So it's right down the street. It's not even a thing. So I would say, for me, I couldn't have a bunch of kids if I'm not going to go see them at least four times a year for at least 2 weeks a year. Mexico or Thailand. Again, for me, rolling off, I would say Mexico, because for me, it's about closivity. You see, here's the thing. Here's the thing about Thailand, and I do plan on going to Thailand. But here's the thing about Thailand. Thailand is for the man who retired, who doesn't really want to, always go and go back and forth and hang out with the kids, or has older children. If you have older children and you're retired, Thailand could be perfect. It might be way better than Mexico. But if you have younger children who are maybe like, my son is 6, my daughter's 15. She's a teenager, so I could come back and forth. But my son is 6. He still needs to see me all the time. So for me, it wouldn't work. But I can see how Thailand could work for someone who has older children, or whose children are adults. Definitely can see how that works. Me personally, though, I like to be close so that I can come back within 3 hours, or within 6 hours at the most. Smart to have kids out of state money wise. It's smart to have kids out of the country money wise, not the state, because the state could still kill you. I heard some things about Georgia, man. Shout out to DC, man. I heard some things about Georgia, man. Jeez. Oh, yeah, out the country, right? You want to see Mexico? Just go to Texas. Nah, it's not to say. Playa del Carmen is different from like Mexical or by Texas border. I feel you chosen one. Like I said, it all really depends on on the type of lifestyle you have. Jay Modern, what's up, man? Salute. Have you ever been scoped? No, I've never been scoped. I think you're talking about scopolamine and like drug. No, I've never been. That's never happened to me. I move in a certain way because I'm from Newark, New Jersey, and in Newark, New Jersey, we had to move a certain way because I feel as though in this environment, when I grew up during the crack epidemic, there were certain streets you had to move a certain way on. You had to do kind of like they do in Cali, where you can't wear certain colors on certain streets, or you can't do stuff on certain places. Once you get accustomed to that, you know how to move in other countries. Being growing up in an urban environment helps you learn how to move in other countries. So no, I haven't been. Wayne Hill, what are the real estate laws in foreign countries pertaining to real estate purchases? Every country is different. Like somebody asked me earlier about Cuba, and I said you can't own property as a United States citizen in Cuba. I don't think anybody of any country except for Cuban citizens can own property in Cuba. Like, and if you have a kid, you can own property through the kid in Cuba. If your kid, you own property through the kid in Cuba, but the property is owned by the kid, but it's your kid. So, or if you get married, you can own property in Cuba, but the issue is that once you get separated, that property goes 100% to the wife, who's a Cuban citizen. Thailand, you can't own property in Thailand. No, let me say this right. You can own property in Thailand. You can't own the land in Thailand. So you can't buy. You can buy a house and you own the building, but you don't own the land in Thailand as a foreigner. You have to be a Thai nationalist. And again, if you get married to a Thai person and you buy a house together and you split, she owns the house and the land. You don't own anything. So in countries like that, I'm skeptical about purchasing stuff. You know, if my maybe through my kid, so my kid has something, but it's skeptical. DR is not the same, it's different. So it really depends what country you're talking about. Um how many rentals do I have now? Uh one, two, three, four, five. I have five current rentals right now, but where I'm staying now can also be rented. So this would be six. Um, and my place in Miami could also be rented if I rented it for 6 months or more, and that would be seven. So I would have seven rentals, but I'm only using four of them. I'm only using four of them. So seven, one, two, three, four, five. Oh, no, my fault. I have seven rentals. I'm only using five of them. Yeah, I have seven rentals. I'm only using five, like seven rental apartments. Um, Talk says, what's the best club in Medellin for a good vibe with a table service heading for the week? Best is relative to what you like, but I will say this: try Jams, Jems. You might like that. Um, I would all everybody says, oh, stay out of Parque Aires, but I think that as a first time goer, it's important you go see what Parque Aires is in El Poblado. And also, I would say like well, for bottle service, bottle service. Oh man, it's the name. It depends what you want, man. If you good with having pros instead of like if you want pros versus non-pros, I would say go to La Isla. La Isla, you can get a section in La Isla and have a good time. Um, DR Colombia, I missed your opinion on that. I said when it comes to owning property, for me, it's Colombia. First of all, Colombia is comparing DR to Colombia is like comparing a small country to a big, massive country. Pause. You know what I mean? So it's not really fair. Like you can compare Cartagena to DR. You know what I'm saying? You can compare Medellin to DR, not the whole Colombia. So for me, it's Colombia for almost every aspect. Almost every aspect. Yeah, yeah, almost every aspect. Um, yeah, we almost had an hour. So finish up. Any questions you got left? I'll give y'all another 10 minutes, and then we're gonna end the live. So if you want to ask any questions, let's round it up. Hit the like button. I guess that helps with something. I appreciate it, Wayne Hill. Boat, bring on another 1,000. Yeah, I heard boats expensive. I told you guys when I got my place in Miami Beach, they tried to get me to get a boat dock for 200. I was like, yeah, that's not that bad. But then I started looking at the prices of boats. The most inexpensive speedboat I seen was like 24,000. I was like, I'm not gonna spend 24,000 for something I don't even know how to drive, or I'm not gonna drive that much. But you know what I mean. A yacht is any sea vessel over 40. Oh, okay, okay. I found yachts for 50,000. See, I didn't know. I don't know nothing about that, man. I just, you know what I mean. I just, man. Everyone getting, yeah. That's what, and the whole thing is that I think more execs and CEOs now are getting fired than regular work or the average worker. The reason why is because the execs and the CEOs they making top dollar. So if they making top dollar, like you could fire one of them and keep 30 workers because they making the same price as 30 workers. So I think a lot of stuff is becoming automated where you have either a machine doing anything at the top or you have one CEO doing a lot more tasks. All right, got 9 more minutes, y'all. Any questions y'all want to ask? 9 more minutes, we're gonna end this out. With the economy going bad, is it still a good time to travel? Here's the craziest thing, y'all. Let me drink this. Almost in all of history that I know, or at least all of what I know of history, and I'm 38 years old, the United States dollar is at the highest level in comparison to the majority of countries around the world. The majority of countries around the world, the United States dollar is at the highest level it's been in at least 38 years since I've been alive. To the pound, it's it was 100. Like normally it's like $1 to $1 equals normally £1 and 15, something like that. So 115 pound, £1 and 115. So it was like 15. The pound is 15 more. It went down to 6. When it comes to the euro is usually on point with the dollar or a little bit more. Now the euro is underneath the dollar by a nice amount. So in Colombia, I believe it was just 5 to 1, 5,100 Colombian pesos to $1. When normally it's like 35 to $1, 3,500 to $1. So when you ask, is it a good time to travel based on your currency? Yes, 100%. But you got to realize that the airplanes are in the United States. They're going to go up in price. They're going up in price. But if you can get over there, your money will go way further than it's been in the last 38 years. You go to Colombia, way further. Go to Brazil, way further. Costa Rica, way further. When you transfer your money to their money, it goes way further. Do you have any trips to save on plane tickets? Normally, I pay for my plane tickets 3 months in advance. I watch it for a whole month. 3 months in advance, I watch it for a month. I try to see how it goes up and down, pause based on what day it is, and I usually buy on a Tuesday or a Wednesday. And Google Flights usually has the lowest price. I usually go Google Flights. Sometimes you can't just book round trip. Sometimes it's cheaper to book 2 one-ways than the round trip. So that's the only thing I say. Mad Dog TV in the building. If you guys haven't already, Mad Dog went from zero subscribers to like 3,000 subscribers in 1 year with some dope content. And he going on his first international trip. So y'all make sure y'all go subscribe to Mad Dog. And he's going to DR. So y'all want to definitely, if you've been to DR, maybe check out his channel, give him some pointers because it's all about helping each other. Robertson Wood says, I used to live in Patterson, New Jersey. Salute, man. I graduated from PCC, CCCC in Patterson, man. Passaic County Community College, man. So, fellas, we made it to the end of the list. Again, I'll bring up this thing about enough, y'all. I say it again. Rest in peace to everybody that died. Hope their families are happy now, or not happy, but able to deal with it now. But the pandemic was the best thing that could have happened to people of poverty and people at the bottom of the wealth scale, because it showed us that we can find enough to make us happy. We don't need the most money in the world. We don't need to be billionaires. We don't need to be wearing all the nicest clothes. We don't have to go buy all the newest Nikes. We don't have to buy all the Gucci's, or we don't have to have all these different subscriptions. The pandemic showed us that we can survive and live good and live and be happy off of minimal stuff. And this is the biggest difference between us in the United States and everyone else around the world. Because around the world, whether it's South America, Central America, Italy, Greece, London, oh, not London, maybe not London, Italy, Greece, Jamaica, they all know that they can be happy without having the amount of money we have in the United States, because all they need is enough to be happy. Enough money, enough women, enough nice clothes, enough kids. And if you don't, because I'm already there. If you don't figure out what's really enough for you to be happy, and you keep aiming for that top notch, that notch will keep moving, and you'll never be happy. And then you'll start to realize you're doing stuff against your principles to get to a place where you don't really need to be, because you don't have to go that high because it's enough down here. So I hope you guys and ladies, because there'll be ladies watching here, my fault, y'all. I hope you guys and ladies really think about it after this live is off. Maybe write it down, maybe put it in your tablet, and just figure out what's enough. What's enough for me to be happy? How many women do I need to be happy? How much clothes do I need to be happy? How much money do I need to be happy and enjoy life? Ask yourself that. But I appreciate you guys for coming in. It's your boy FRE $H Fresh at the Flyboy Way. That's THEFLYBOYWAY. Don't ask why. Check out the channel, and I see you on the next video. Find out what's enough. Peace.